Browns fans, welcome into a victory edition of Browns Live. Nathan Zegura with you for the next 30 minutes, and in that half hour, we'll be joined by the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, Demetric Felton, who had that big touchdown. He will be in our player spotlight, and as always, the Hoff, Joe Thomas, joins me to break down the win over the Texans and also to go inside the film room and take a look at some of the big plays that helped that victory be possible. We're going to start things off right now with the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, in this week's game review. And coach, congrats on the first win of the 2021 season, 31-21 over the Texans in front of a full house at First Energy Stadium. We talked a lot about what that was going to be like. What did you get from those fans?
Yeah, it was electric. Really a cool experience for me for the first time, just to see how loud the crowd was, how into it they were. I could get the sense that they've been waiting a long time to be able to be in there and cheer like they did.
It was absolutely packed. I was saying smoke signals were being sent out from the Muni lot. When you saw that, did that kind of give you a little juice?
Yeah, I know I felt that. I know our players did for sure. There's an energy to game day, and it's something that we really didn't get to experience all of last year. As loud as our 12,000 strong were last year, to see everybody in the seats at kickoff, ready to go, was just, I know I got something out of it. I know for sure our players got something out of it.
And remember, folks, be in your seats at kickoff again this Sunday against the Chicago Bears. Coach, when you watch that tape, what'd you take away from the offensive performance? A very efficient Baker Mayfield, minus obviously the interception in a ground game that continues to be sensational.
Yeah, it was efficient for sure. I think we definitely have to do a better job of taking care of the football moving forward. We've given the ball away twice in the first 2 weeks, and we can't do that. Outside of that, I thought it was mostly efficient versus those big zones. I thought Baker was sharp. I thought the receivers, the tight ends, the running backs were sharp in the pass game. And then that run game, especially late in the game when we had to go on a drive, they really responded. Both Kareem ripped off a few runs, and then Nick was very, very fresh, as you saw, and was ready to roll in that last run down the sideline.
We're going to take that one in the film room with Joe Thomas later on, that 26-yard touchdown. But when you run wide zone and your running back doesn't get touched, is that as close to perfect execution as it gets, Coach?
Yeah, we often talk, Nathan, about those dirty runs when it's not blocked perfectly, but the running back's going to put his foot in the ground, he's going to put his head down and get us a few yards and maybe pop out of it. When you have those clean runs with the runners that we have with Nick and Kareem, those things have a chance to be explosive like it was there in that ballgame.
Coach, defensively, what did you see? The debut of Grant Delpit, I thought, stood out, as did Malcolm Smith stepping in and playing a heck of a game for you at the Mike linebacker spot.
Yeah, Malcolm certainly stepped up for us. Grant, his first time out there, first time in uniform, made some plays. So it was really good to see those guys flying around. It wasn't perfect. We know there are areas that we have to get better. But I thought by and large, the guys were really trying to fly around, trying to get the ball from them. And that's kind of been our focus really, Nathan, all week is, all right, it was a good effort. We won the game. We're pleased with that. But where are the areas that we can improve? And here's how we're going to do it.
Browns, 2 takeaways for your defense in this one. The Browns are now 7-0 under your tenure as head coach when they have 2 takeaways in a game, so that's something for the fans to keep an eye on there. Now, we saw in this game the taunting rule come in for the first time, a penalty against your opponent, the Houston Texans. The Browns have not fallen victim to that, and that brings us to our question from @StillBeingMolly. She says, hey, Coach, one of the clearest things that's changed since you've become the coach is the culture and discipline on and off the field. What's been your strategy for affecting that positive change?
Well, I appreciate the question. I would just tell you, we have the right people. We have the right people in our locker room. We got the right people in your coaching staff. So when you have that, when you have those people, typically the culture takes care of itself. As it relates to that taunting penalty, Nathan, that's the rule. And whether we like it or not really doesn't matter. So we've talked at length, and we continue to talk at length about that penalty, because we knew once it was a point of emphasis, it was going to get called a lot. And it's a 15-yarder. So we spend a lot of time talking about it and making sure that we don't put ourselves in those positions, because ultimately it really hurts your team when you lose 15 yards.
Yeah, those ones are significant. The Browns have been clean in that regard. We'll look to keep that going when you join the show later to talk about the Browns and the Bears. And when we return on Browns Live, Joe Thomas joins the program. We'll hear from Demetric Felton. That's coming up next.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack, and every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at university hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Be part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. Join the Browns season ticket member waitlist today for the best chance of securing tickets for all home games in future seasons.
Towards the end zone, caught by Donovan Peoples-Jones, touchdown! The Browns are winners again.
Deposits start at just $100 per seat. Reserve your spot today by visiting clevelandbrowns.com. Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura here, and as they say in our industry, business is about to pick up, and that is because we welcome in the Hoff. Joe Thomas joining us now, and Hoff, the Browns get to 1-1, 31-21 over the Houston Texans, and this offense, though, remains incredibly efficient. Baker Mayfield leading the NFL in completion percentage. He was 19 of 21 in this one. Nick Chubb averaging over 6 yards a carry once again. What have you seen offensively, though, from this football team through 2 weeks?
Well, offensively, they looked outstanding. As you mentioned, Baker Mayfield playing the best football of his career, looking so comfortable. He's just been dynamic, getting the football out on time to the right receivers with incredible accuracy. And then combo that with the running game that continues to build steam and prove that it's the best rushing attack in the NFL. That's a tough recipe to beat for any team that's going to come into town and try to take on our Cleveland Browns.
You talked about that quick passing game, and for Baker Mayfield, that means getting it out quick and getting it into the hands of your playmakers. And the Browns, well, they may have found another gem in the 6th round, Demetric Felton. Boy, did he have a heck of a play, looking like a young Eric Metcalf out there for our Browns historians. And our Andrew Gribble caught up with Demetric in this week's Player Spotlight presented by McDonald's.
All right, we're joined now by Browns rookie running back Demetric Felton. And Demetric, hard to beat the debut you had at First Energy Stadium in your first game there. What was it like to make that kind of an impact at such an important moment in the game?
It was awesome. You know, every time I go out there, I just try to handle my job, do my job, make sure I do everything I have to. And I was able to do that on Sunday. So it was a great feeling to help the team towards a win.
Now take me through the big play that everyone remembers, the 33-yard screen pass that you somehow turned into a touchdown. What's going through your mind on that play as you got your eyes on the end zone there?
I'm just trying to make sure I catch the ball and, you know, try to get the first down, just keep going until I can't anymore. And so when I got the ball, you know, my guys made some great blocks. I just followed them, and, you know, the rest was just instincts.
Is the spin move the part of the instincts that you're talking about there? And how do you pull that off in an NFL game? You don't see too many of those.
Yeah, I would say it's just instinct. You know, it's something that, you know, like I said in my other interviews, that me and Coach Stump and a lot of the coaches try to practice during our individual drills, and, you know, it played out perfectly in the game.
Now, in that game, you got just 3 snaps. You got the ball in your hands twice. But what is it like to come into a game, maybe not having played on offense for the past 6 quarters, but then being asked to make a big play?
You just always got to stay locked in because you never know when your name's going to be called. And that's something that my coaches have stressed to me here, always being ready. And so I've just been trying to take their advice and be ready when they call my name.
Now, Demetric, you've taken over as the head kick returner and punt returner as well. What's it been like taking on those responsibilities and knowing how big of a role that plays on Sundays?
It's awesome. You know, I love it because I want the ball in my hands, and those are great opportunities for me to make a play and set the tone for the offense coming out. And so every time I try to make plays so we can set the offense up to score.
Now, it's another big test at home this Sunday against the Chicago Bears. What's maybe the mindset and then maybe the excitement level getting to another home game at First Energy Stadium?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited to hit the home field again, be able to see the fans, and we plan on getting the W for them. So we're just going to work hard during this week, getting to know our opponent, and execute on Sunday.
All right, Demetric, thank you so much, and good luck on Sunday against the Bears.
Thank you.
You know, when you talk to Kevin Stefanski about Demetric Felton, he said this kid just loves ball. And I say just get the ball in this kid's hands. When you see an individual effort like that, 38 missed tackles by my calculation on that one play alone, Joe, what does that do for the sideline when you see somebody just get an opportunity and make a play?
Yeah, what a great emotional boost for the Browns sideline. Demetric Felton's a guy on this team that everybody loves top to bottom. He's been doing all the right things. We didn't know when he was going to get his big opportunity, but with Jarvis Landry going down early in that game, he got his opportunity in week 2, and boy, did he make the most of it with the incredible catch and run, showing everybody why Browns fans have been excited about watching this guy this season after seeing him during training camp putting on a show.
No doubt, Demetric Felton. That was the same play, by the way, that wide receiver screen that the Browns ran to Jarvis earlier in the game. They just flipped the sides, and they had a great deal of success. It's those schematic advantages that make Kevin Stefanski so special. And when we come back, we're going to go in the film room, break down a great play on offense, also a scintillating debut on defense. That's all coming up when Browns Live returns.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
Touchdown, Nick Chubb! He's done it again!
Be part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. Join the Browns season ticket member waitlist today for the best chance at securing tickets for all home games in future seasons.
Towards the end zone, caught by Donovan Peoples-Jones, touchdown! The Browns are winners again!
Deposits start at just $100 per seat. Reserve your spot today by visiting clevelandbrowns.com.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack, and every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at university hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura, the Hoff Joe Thomas, and Joe, Nick Chubb is a special running back. Frankly, we have a very special running back duo. But what is it about Nick Chubb that makes him one of the great backs of our time?
Well, obviously, he's really difficult to tackle, which makes any running back really, really good when you can't get him on the ground after the first or the second tackler. But I think what makes Nick Chubb unique and elite is his ability to burst. You see it so often when he sees that hole, he's able to burst and get through that hole before it closes, which, as you guys know, in the NFL, those windows close mighty quick. So Nick Chubb's able to hit that hole, burst, get to the second level, and then make guys miss for those long touchdown runs.
As they say, he looks like he is shot out of a cannon, folks. And we're going to go now into this week's play breakdown presented by Microsoft. And what better place to start than about 6.5 minutes to go in this game. The Browns up 24-21. They are on the opponent's 26-yard line. And Joe, this is one of those where they just say, the man is untouched into the end zone. Let's take a look at how it happens. And it all starts with it looking like the strength of the formation is to the left, and it quickly moves to the right side where the Browns will run that outside zone, and it causes chaos, as you can see, amongst the Houston Texans defense.
Yeah, great job by Kevin Stefanski. He's designing a run with a little bit of window dressing, shift in motion to begin the play, and it causes confusion. The Houston Texans, as you see here, they're trying to organize a little bit of a blitz. You see those hand signals going on between the linebackers and the guys on the outside, and just that little bit of a strength in formation change for the Browns. It does not allow the Houston Texans to get on the same page. There's confusion over who has what gap, and the Browns are able to take advantage. Nick Chubb running the outside zone to the right. An amazing job inside right there by J.C. Treader and Wyatt Teller, able to pick up the blitzer so he can't get too much penetration. Nick Chubb, while he's on that angle to the end zone, does a great job following right behind Wyatt Teller, who does an incredible job because that defensive tackle on Wyatt Teller, he's supposed to cross Wyatt's face. Wyatt does such a nice job getting vertical pressure up the field. He doesn't allow the Houston Texans defensive tackle to cross his face. He creates vertical stretch in addition to the horizontal stretch that most outside zones are able to create. And it allows Nick Chubb to be able to run without cutting up or back, which is exactly how you draw it up when you're drawing the outside zone. But you never get to see it because rarely is it blocked this well. And anytime you're going to get a big run, look at Donovan Peoples-Jones on the outside, locked up with the cornerback. Downfield blocking is the key to long runs in the NFL, and DPJ does a great job not allowing that Houston Texans cornerback to fall off and to force Nick Chubb to cut back to the pursuit of the defense. Great job by everybody in the Browns. Great job by Nick Chubb, hitting the burners and not slowing down till he gets to the end zone.
You're right, Joe. That's a beautiful thing, and it takes all 11 guys in that ground game. And when you do that, what's that like in the film room when it's perfect? Nobody's touched.
It feels great. It's one of those ones where you say, hey, coach, can you wind that back again? You got to show Wyatt Teller, look at this play. Oh, wind it back again. DPJ on the outside, and you just want to keep winding it back so all 11 guys get the love that they deserve.
As we take a look at our second play of the day, and this one features Grant Delpit in his NFL debut, an impressive one for the young safety. We've waited over a year to see him out of LSU. And Joe, what is Joe Woods thinking here? How does he scheme this one up? And we'll see. Delpit starts a good 7 yards off the line of scrimmage here, and he's going to be the guy that is going to come in and he is going to get Davis Mills.
Yeah, this blitz, it's all about timing and confusion, and it's perfectly executed by the Browns and perfectly called by Joe Woods. You'll see that the perfect timing, not only with the call, but with Delpit hitting it as the ball is being snapped. He's hitting the line of scrimmage. He's timing up the snap count perfectly, because what you're going to see here on the top of the screen is Takk McKinley is dropping into coverage and replacing Grant Delpit where he was in the coverage as the curl flat defender right there. And what it does is it causes confusion amongst the Houston Texans offensive line, because they're running what we would call an empty protection. That means there's 5 blockers, which are the 5 offensive linemen, and nobody else. The running back is free releasing. And as the right tackle backs up to block, he's looking at Takk McKinley. And when he sees Takk McKinley drop, he thinks he's an extra blocker. So he's going to slide to the inside to pick up the next guy that he can see in his field of vision, which is one of the inside linebackers for the Browns. And he totally misses Grant Delpit, who exchanges with Tack McKinley. He hides behind Tack because of the great timing, and he's able to get into there and hit the quarterback in the backfield without Davis Mills even seeing him. But the great thing about this play, and I think the genius in this blitz, is because they exchange, Davis Mills doesn't feel that this is a blitz. It's called like a simulated pressure because there's still only 4 guys that are rushing the quarterback. But for the offensive line, they feel like it's an overload blitz. Davis Mills thinks he's protected, but he's not protected because he's getting a face full of Grant Delpit off the edge. Grant Delpit getting his first sack of his NFL career in the first game of his NFL career. You love to see it.
Joe, it has been a pleasure as always. Until next week, my friend, when we're hopefully doing another victory edition of Browns Live. But when we return, it is the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, stopping by to preview the Browns and the Bears Week 3 at First Energy Stadium.
The world has changed, but some facts remain. Every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack. And every hour, over 700 people suffer a broken bone. While those numbers haven't changed, there are fewer people seeking the treatment they need. If you're injured, sick, or in pain, it's safe to get the care you need at university hospitals. Protecting your health with science and compassion. That's UH Safe.
Touchdown, Nick Chubb! He's done it again!
Be part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. Join the Browns season ticket member waitlist today for the best chance at securing tickets for all home games in future seasons.
Towards the end zone, caught by Donovan Peoples-Jones, touchdown! The Browns are winners again!
Deposits start at just $100 per seat. Reserve your spot today by visiting clevelandbrowns.com.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgages dedicated to getting it done.
Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura joined once again by the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, for this week's game preview presented by Ticketmaster. And coach, the 1-1 Bears, the 1-1 Browns. And for the Bears, they will be starting rookie quarterback Justin Fields. When you saw this kid coming out of Ohio State and some of the tape he's put out there, what challenges does a quarterback, again, a mobile quarterback, third straight week, present for our defense?
Yeah, mobile quarterbacks, man. They're really hard to defend because you may have the right coverage called and they hold the ball and they find a way to escape. And now you're in the scramble drill and you got to defend them for a very long time. The down is long when you're playing these mobile quarterbacks. He's a dynamic player. He was in college. You're seeing glimpses of it now in the pros. He can make all the throws. He can run a varying type of offense. They can put him in the gun and run RPOs. They can put him under center, run the keeper game. He can drop back. He can roll out. So I really think they have something that they can work with and show different looks to us. And then at the end of the day, when it doesn't work and he starts scrambling, we got to be sticky in coverage. And we got to be true to our rush lanes to try and get him on the ground.
The Bears bring pressure as well when you've got Khalil Mack and Quinn and Hicks up front. That's something they do very, very well. What have you seen from this defense and that front, which can get wide and really attack you on the edges, especially with Jed maybe ready, maybe not, although I thought Blake Hance did a nice job once he stepped in.
Yeah, it's a really good defense, and it's going to be a huge challenge for our offense. I think it's a really sound scheme. It's a scheme that I've seen in Chicago when I was with the Vikings all those years. I've seen this scheme many, many times from Coach Fangio, Coach Pagano. It's really, really sound, and they have good players. They got big guys up front. They got really good linebackers. They got good guys in the secondary. They understand the scheme. They play within the scheme, but it's a very, very physical group. You talk about Akeem Hicks, and you talk about Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Ogletree. These guys are physical. So we're going to have to match that physicality.
Coach at Dogs Go Woof, he's got a thought of how we're going to frustrate defense. He says, without divulging extensively, do you have packages moving forward utilizing both Chubb and Hunt in the backfield simultaneously? Both are good in pass pro and would give the entire team and staff a headache thinking about what's coming, on top of hopefully having OBJ back out wide.
Yeah, I think that really speaks to what we talk about all the time as being multiple. We do want to show multiple looks to the defense. And that can show itself in varying forms. It can be with a bunch of tight ends and spread them out. It can be everybody in tight. It can be multiple receivers with motions. We want to play with the linebackers and safeties' eyes, moving the motions around a little bit. So hopefully it manifests itself in a bunch of different ways. But I do understand the idea of getting two pretty good players on the field.
Coach, earlier in the show, we talked with Demetric Felton, and obviously probably got a chance to do some things last Sunday when Jarvis went down. When you see a guy make a play like that, next man up, we mentioned Hance earlier, Malcolm Smith, Demetric Felton. When your team has that mentality and then they step up and take advantage, what does that tell you about them, the coaching, and really the whole operation here?
Yeah, Nathan, that's something that we found out a lot last year with the next man up mentality. It has to be about who you are. It has to be part of your DNA. And I think it just speaks to the resilience of our football team. You mentioned the coaching staff. Demetric does a great job, and he's a self-starter, and I appreciate how hard he studies. But then it was great on the sideline during that game, talking through it with Coach O'Shea. Hey, let's run that screen again. Let's just put Demetric over there. Grab Demetric, coach them up on it. Obviously, he has to know it already, but just to prepare him to go out there and do it seamlessly and let his athleticism take over is another great point of how our staff, how our players work together to make sure that everybody's prepared, because in this NFL, you never know when your number is going to get called.
That preparation often leads to success, and we hope to see that again on Sunday against the Bears. Coach, thanks so much for the time, and best of luck.
Thanks, Nathan.
All right, that'll do it for another edition of Browns Live. Don't forget, this Sunday, 11 a.m. on News 5, it's Browns Countdown from First Energy Stadium. John Doss, Hanford Dixon, Gerard Cherry, and yours truly getting you ready for the Browns and the Bears. Go out early, have fun, and get in your seats by kickoff. That atmosphere was electric. Let's do it again, Cleveland. Thanks so much for being with us for another edition of Browns Live, and let's go Browns.